A very good morning to one and all present here. We welcome you on Skilling on Saturdays. The platform has been blessed by so many various speakers, authors, trainers, coaches, mentors. And today we have with us a very esteemed guest, Vinay Pushkaran, who is a president of Professional Speakers Association of India. We are privileged to have you, Vinayji. And let me introduce him. So Vinayji is just a moment. Vinayji is a global keynote speaker, educator, TEDx speaker, and B School faculty on customer centricity. He is the president of the Professional Speakers Association of India with more than 20 years of experience across multiple industries and verticals. Vinay ji helps organizations to delight their customers and boost organic growth. He's a founder and CEO of Miyagi Learning Solutions, a corporate training enterprise that has been empowering students and professionals in the communication and public speaking space for more than 12 years. He has delivered impactful keynotes and engaging workshops for leading corporate houses in India like Toshiba, Sab Labs, At Center, Grift Foods, and City Union Bank. With this short introduction, we welcome you, Vinay ji, and please lead the session.
Thank you very much, Shivani, that's for this very warm welcome and the opportunity to talk to this amazing audience, because it's not easy to get up early on a Saturday morning and be out here to learn. And after a long week, the one thing that I'm sure everyone wants is to just sleep late and take a comfortable, relaxed weekend. But here I can see so many people who are up logging in to learn, and big round of applause to all of you here. Thank you very much for being here. So now. The topic that I'm going to speak upon today is crafting great customer relationships. But let's keep that aside for now, because the topic that involves the customer, the topic that involves customer relationships, customer experiences, this topic is never effective when I talk about it and you listen to it. No, it's much more. We learn from it when we make it a discussion. So I will be needing your help to make this session very useful and engaging for everyone, because I would love to know about your customers. So if you will help me, please give me a thumbs up or put a yes in the chat box. You'll be using the chat box for the next for 40 minutes a lot. So please do let me know if I can count on your help for that. Okay, great. I got one thumbs up, so I know that among all the boxes, there's at least one person out here who's uh, agreed to help me. Wonderful. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I got another. Wonderful. Okay. Oh, yes. Now let's
Vinay ji,
have the.
I would like to introduce you to CA Dr. Rajkumar Adukia, sir. SOS is a brainchild of him, and he's present here.
Such a
So
pleasure
your
to meet
thoughts?
you, Rajkumar ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Vinay Pushkaranji. And very happy to know. And I think more members would like to join Professional Speakers Association of India. It is doing a great job. I am the ex-member. Perhaps I will join again.
That would be so wonderful. That would be so wonderful. In
Thank
fact,
you.
such a pleasure meeting you. Thank you. Great. So, I before we start off with the session, I have a question for everyone. If you can just use the chat box and tell me one thing. After the COVID pandemic lifted and things slowly limped back to normalcy, you know, what has been that one biggest change that has happened in your business? One biggest change or challenge or positive, negative, no problem, doesn't. But one big change that has happened in the business. If you can just tell it to me in the chat box in maybe one single sentence or a few words, that would be really interesting. Things have gone virtual. Wonderful. Thank you. More aware towards health. So this has affected your business. This has been an impact on your business. Online platform. Great. Okay. So so people are now more comfortable with using the worldwide competition. Lovely CA Pankaj-ji. Yes. One worldwide competition. Very important point. And that's what we are going to start knowing, that people by Zoom and Teams, time for work and self got blurred. Wow, I like that point. The work life balance has become blurred. We are like both are eating into each other and we don't know where the line is drawn. Wonderful. We are going to talk about uh, uh, we're going to talk about the impact on the business and who is the most important person in our business, the customer. And a lot of these changes, a lot of the challenges has happened in our business after COVID because the customer has changed. The customer has evolved for all of us, whatever business we are in. And especially when we are in a business where we are providing a service to a customer, like an advisory service, like a consulting service, things have changed. How have they changed? Let me may I share a few slides?
Yes,
Do
yes,
I?
of course.
Yeah, okay, I have the access to that. Great. So this is what today's session is about. We talk about going beyond transactions. We speak about how the customer has changed. We speak about how the customer has evolved, and we talk about how do we build great relationships, great experiences for this customer. Now, the customer that we are talking about today, in what way has this customer changed? How has the customer's journey changed? Now, here, today's customer is a four-dimensional customer, which means today's customer is more informed. Yeah. Today's customer is more informed, more impatient, more empowered, and more demanding. In what way? Let's look at that. More informed. What does informed mean? Today's customer can access information from across the world. And thanks to the pandemic break or the lockdown, people became comfortable with using the virtual platform, like you very rightly shared in the chat box when I asked the question, that today people are aware. Today people have got information. Today at 139 rupees, you get access to the entire world. 139 rupees, because I believe that's the smallest internet pack on which you can get unlimited internet right through the month. And with 139 rupees, you can access information from across the globe. Across the globe. You know what's happening anywhere and everywhere. You know the products, you know the services. People are opting for services which are happening different parts of the world. They're attending sessions, workshops, learning. They're selling their products. They're buying products from across the world. That's what is that's what is happening after the pandemic in the informed dimension. Now, impatient. I'm sure all of you who work with clients, today's customer doesn't want to wait. Everything, they need everything yesterday. They don't want to wait till tomorrow or day after. They want everything yesterday. That's how they do not have the patience to wait. The time expectation from us is they want 24/7 availability. Absolutely correct. And they expect that, and they have no problems asking for that. They have no problems asking for that. There used to be a time when whatever when you go to there used to be a time, I remember, I'm a 90s kid, so there used to be a time when we used to get a shirt stitched, and we would buy the cloth, go there, and the tailor would say that please come after 6 days, and we'll have no problems. We will just write that down on that receipt and take back and say that, yeah, we have to come back after 6 days, no problem at all. Now, sometimes when we go on the sixth day, the tailor would say that just need 1 or 2 more days to just it's still not complete, 2 दिन बाद प्लीज, हाँ भाई साहब 2 दिन बाद आ जाइए. हमने ठीक है भाई साहब, आ जाएंगे 2 दिन बाद, no problem at all, we'll come after 2-3 days. Nobody complained. We were used to the fact that things take time. Not today's customer. Today's customer doesn't want to think that. Today's customer says, 6 days, are you kidding me? No way. I want, like, now I have an event to attend day after tomorrow. I want it by tomorrow 5 p.m. 5:15 p.m. I'll go to somebody else. That's impatience. Today's customer is very, very impatient. Then I have a question for you. What gives a person the highest power? What gives you power? Anybody, human being. I mean, I'm not talking about customers, but what gives a person power? One word in the chat box, please. What gives a person power? Skill, okay. Skill, information, knowledge. Oh, beautiful. There's something one step higher than this. One step higher than this. Skill, information, knowledge, absolutely, they give you power. Team, yes, that's also correct. The right answer goes to Rishi ji. Yes, that's what gives you the power of choice, the freedom to choose gives you power. I have a lot of I have options in front of me. I can choose. The choice is the biggest power that you can give an individual. Whether it is our children who are choosing a subject to study, a career to follow, what clothes should I wear, choice gives us power. Today's customer has choice. 20 years back, that was not the case. We all knew that one service provider in every big domain, maybe two if we are lucky, maybe. Today's customer has choice. Yes, absolutely correct, Sanjay ji, spot on. So, and because of the pandemic, that choice has spread across the world. It's not just information. I can also choose to buy from that person. Earlier, even if I knew that, okay, there is a service available in Germany, but I can't access it, obviously. I need to pay in Forex. I can't do that. There is no way to get that. Today, I know that it's there in Germany. Today, I can also buy it from Germany. That's the difference. I know somebody recently, I can't believe that I know somebody recently who wanted a very specific pair of running shoes, which this gentleman ordered from Hungary. I was like, okay, there are so many. because he wanted that specific pattern and that specific shoes that are not available. He actually placed the order and he got those shoes in 12 days time. That's choice, and that gives you power. Today's customer has choice. And finally, demanding. Today's customer demands to be recognized, demands to be respected, and demands to be served as an individual, not as a number. Today's customer is demanding. These are the 4 dimensions of today's customer. What It doesn't matter what business we are running. It doesn't matter what services we offer or what products we have in our portfolio. We are dealing with a customer who's a 4-dimensional customer. I'll share uh, something that happened a while back after the lockdown. Now during the lockdown, my mother started using the learned how to use apps on the phone. She would she learned how to put things in the basket, make an order for groceries and things on that, and she was using Instamart and a couple of other apps to order things online. Now one day I was in the morning, I was sitting and working, and she was walking all over the place and she was looking very upset. Now recently, after she's been using that app to order things, one she wanted to learn something is another app as well. So she learned how to now book services for our house using an app. Now she had now I that day in the morning I asked, Amma, what happened? You're looking very upset. She said, yeah, I had placed an order for a house cleaning. Okay, तो क्या हुआ? So what? So she said, yeah, but today we have guests coming, तो मैंने वो cancel कर दिया. ठीक है, cancel कर दिया. That's great. So क्या हुआ? Then what is the problem? The refund has not been credited yet. आ जाएगा. It'll take time, no problem. She said, it's been 3 hours since I cancelled it. Okay, so अभी तक नहीं आया. हाँ, तो it'll come. Instamart credits in instantly. The money hits my wallet. What are these people doing with my money for 3 hours? I said, that's a different app. This is a different app. Said, what is different? Both is that what you guys call digital, right? Why are they keeping my money for 3 hours? Why can't they just transfer it immediately? I've cancelled it. I didn't have an answer for that. But that is a huge learning about how today's customer thinks. Today's customer doesn't just compare you with competition. Today's customer compares you with anybody who provides that same service. Anybody who provides that element of the service, not even that service, that element of the service. So today's customer might compare you with a fitness coach. If you're a financial advisor, they might compare you to fitness coach if the fitness coach has a better payment mechanism. See, he has a QR code. Why don't you have a QR code to make a payment? So, no, we don't have. Why? And that why is a question that today's customer will ask, because today's customer is a 4-dimensional customer. Empowered 4-dimensional customer. Now, how do we delight this customer? That's the whole deal. How do we delight this customer so that this customer stays with us and does business with us? And most importantly, not just does business with us, but goes out there and talks about us. And that is what the magic is all about. Now, why are we talking about delighting this customer? Because when you delight a customer, the customer gives you A, T, and D. Okay, I call it the ATD outcomes, which means your customer builds awareness for you, the customer builds trust for you, and the customer also generates demand for you. ATD, always important. First one, awareness. When your a delighted customer goes and talks about you, a delighted customer might share an Instagram story about you, will talk about you on social media. When they go to a networking gathering and somebody says that, hey, and somebody is talking about a bad experience with, say, a, um, a trainer, and suddenly your customer will say, hey, I am working with somebody who's really good at this. You want to try that person out? He's doing that and he's been doing that for the last 20 years. Why don't you give it a try? Awareness. Your customer builds visibility for you. Second, trust. Okay, visibility is one thing. People get to know that you are there, you are existing in the market, you are providing services. No problem. Trust. Your your delighted customer, not all customers, your delighted customer will tell, hey, एक बार आप इससे काम करके तो देखो. You just work with this person, you will enjoy it. I am sure we have done it so many times for so many other, for different brands and for different products. Why don't you just place it on? I have gone there. I've had a fantastic experience. Haven't we sent our friends and our relatives, family to places where we've had a great experience? Maybe a restaurant, maybe any other place where we have gone and say, oh, this is amazing. Why don't you go and check it out? I had such a lovely time there with the kids last weekend. You should go and check it out. Haven't we done that? That builds trust in the other person to try it out. Not just awareness, but trust. And trust is important because trust converts a cold lead to a warm lead to a hot lead. The more the trust builds up, and when somebody is saying, I have worked with this person and this person is really good, magic happens. People's minds get changed. People say, okay, I can definitely work with this person. I can definitely give it a try at least once. And then lastly, demand. Your customer opens up markets for you through through their positive word of mouth. 83 to 84% of my business comes from organic referrals. I don't have anybody doing sales for me. Nobody does sales for me. I don't have a salesperson, and and neither do I do business development. I do only two things. I share my content out there with the world that gets me leads. Yes. And secondly, 83% of my business comes through my clients, my audience, where I go and speak, or my sessions that I take. Somebody in my sessions refers me to somebody else, and the business goes from there. That's the power of organic leads. So your customer creates awareness for you, builds trust for you, and generates demand for you, but only a delighted customer does that. And all this for free. All this for absolutely free, without paying a single rupee in marketing or sales. A delighted customer is your best brand ambassador, your best marketer, your best sales expert. Nobody can sell you the way a delighted customer can sell. Do you agree on that? Do you agree with me on that? That's the power that a customer wields today in this world. Because today, everybody is bombarded on their phones, on their social media with so many options. You just, like sometimes you just type Goa on Google for some reason. And then suddenly, next time when you open Facebook and next time you open social media, you're finding Goa packages coming up all over the place, scrolling on your timeline for you. So today we are bombarded with so many marketing messaging. The market is crowded, the market is cluttered. In between that, if your brand, your business has to stand out, the only one word that is the most powerful is not our word, not your word. No, definitely not. It's your customer's word. When your customer talks about you, that rises above the noise. Oh, that's a happy customer recommending that person. I am going to trust that, not a news article or an ad that I'm seeing on social media. That's visibility. Customer's voice is trust. And that is why we are talking about crafting great customer relationship. Now, let's look at three very simple things about customer psychology. Because to delight somebody, first you have to know about that person, right? So the first thing that we need to know is understand how the customer's mind works. Today's customer wants four things. Today's customer wants to be understood, wants to be informed, wants to be in control, and wants to be secure. And in the financial services industry, this is a very, very, very important point. I repeat, today's customer wants to be understood, wants to be informed, wants to be in control, and wants to be secure. I'll briefly explain each of these points. I'll start with secure first. There is, as the virtual world comes deeper into our lives, digs its claws deeper into our lives, there is also the higher risk, there is also the higher vulnerability, that I can say, the danger posed by online theft, online malpractices. So many so much more vulnerability has increased, the risk factor has gone up. So today's customer knows about the risk factors and is worried, which is why trust takes time. And which is why today's customers, one of the top priorities is to be secure. And also, very importantly, a person is more uh, likely to avoid a loss than to be attracted to a gain. I repeat, avoiding loss is much higher priority for a person than making gain. And this is a very simple, common human psychology which we apply to customers a lot, that today's customer wants to avoid losses. So this is something we need to understand, that security is very important. In control, today's customer feels that he wants to be kept informed, he wants to be in control of what is happening with his money, what is happening with his health, what is happening with his business. That is why today so many companies, organizations build apps that give access to the customers. Access gives control. So you can track how your funds are doing, you can track how your money is doing, you can track how your health is doing, you can track how many steps you took, you can track how your project is going, you can track all those 10 steps, you can see everything. Today we even get to see a very simple thing. I'm sure all of us order food from Swiggy and other apps, and it's not. I mean, look at those tiny things. They actually show a small little icon of a person riding the bike from the point of pickup to your house. When you click on track, you'll find a person riding there. You also get to see the route where the person is riding from. Why do you think they do that? They are taking care of this need. They make the customer feel in control. So if you are the one who placed an order for your family, and the family asks ki khana kahan pahuncha, abhi tak pahuncha nahi hai, kahan gaye, kahan pe khana, and you are able to just say 5 minute lagenge, it's just round the corner, and you are actually on that app, you're seeing it there around the corner, and the person riding gives you control, gives you information. And last, today's customer wants to be understood. You have to understand me. I will not tell you that, but I expect you to understand me. I will not tell you that I want to be understood, but it's your job to understand me, your job to know me and understand me, and then serve me the way I want to be served, not the way you think I should be served. Big difference there. Never assume, never assume that you know what is best for me. Get to know me and understand what is best for me, and then serve me. Big difference. And these are four elements of customer psychology that I wanted to touch upon. And then we come to the next part, which is, now we know what the customer expects, we know what his psychology says, and to delight such a customer, we have to deliver a kind of customer experience that is out of the world. there are 3 levels of customer experience. Unacceptable, satisfactory, legendary. Unacceptable means that you don't care about the customer. You are selling something, customer has to buy. Now, unacceptable can work. Yes, it can work if you are the only person in the world who's offering that service or that product, because then the customer doesn't have any choice. But even if you are the only person in the world who's offering that, please remember, you are only in the market till the next person comes up. The moment your first competitor comes up who gives 1% better experience, your customer will switch. That's what the unacceptable service is all about. Then comes satisfactory. Satisfactory, customer expects A, you give A, done. It's equal. So your customer will stay with you. Your customer will stay with you, and you will always be in the consideration frame of your customer. But your customer might flirt with other options. Okay? Your customer is not in love with you. Your customer is just, his need is being satisfied. That is all. So which means when another option, there are other options in the market, your customer might just choose to, get some, like, okay, this time I'm going to hire another person. This time I'm going to do business with another person, and then I will come back. No problem. You are an important option. Yes, but you're an option. When you deliver a legendary experience, your customer is in love with you. You've gone beyond the option. Now you are no longer an option. You are the only option. Your customer cannot think beyond you, because you know that your customer wants that particular service. Your customer will come back to you, go out there and talk about you. Now, which kind of experience would you want to create for your customer? Put in the chat box. And I will also reply to Mohanji your point about that customer is a king, give him a royal treatment to retain him and to spread out your quality of service. Yes, L. Yes, LS or U. So legendary, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. And yes, I agree with your entire point, Mohanji, except for that one little point that I want to share thing there. That customer is a king. Now, customer used to be a king. But I always want to reframe that mindset, because the problem with looking at customer is a king means that now, when you are serving a customer and customer is king, what does it make you? That's a point there. So instead of looking at the customer as a king, I'll tell you another problem there. When you consider somebody a king, you have to say yes to everything they say. And yes, we all know that some customers can be unfair, some customers can be can be rude, impolite. There are so many wrong kind of customers also. And yes, being running a business, we need to be aware of that as well. So the problem with considering a customer as a king is that we have to say yes to everything the customer says. And saying everything to the customers, saying yes to everything the customer says, hits our profitability and our business. Instead of that, look at your customer as a guest in your house. Both of you are at an equal footing, but you want to deliver the best experience to what do you do when a guest comes to our house? We serve the customer with all our hearts, and the choice is the customers to come to your house. The customer has chosen to come to your house, and you'll always offer the best tea that's there in the house. You make him feel on top of the world. Yes, absolutely correct. You make him feel on top of the world. Yes, you do that for a guest who's come to your house. Yes, absolutely. The reason why I'm choosing to use the term guest instead of king is that a guest need not always be right. A guest can make a unfair request which you can definitely refuse. The moment we put the king word in the mind, it's difficult to refuse a customer. That's the reason why. And also the customer is king concept came in the late late 70s and 80s, when it was a very capitalistic dominated market in the West, where the um, the union of customer, the customer union, the customer body decided that we have to change this mindset among people. And that's when those boards were created, which were put up in retail outlets first, that customer is king, customer is always right, you have to serve. Those are the times when customers were completely taken advantage of. They were they didn't have any rights. They did not have things that something went wrong, they couldn't go back and return. In those days, that's where it originated, that customer is king and customer is always right. But now in today's world, we are talking about empowered customers. Today's customer, we treat them like a guest, and we deliver legendary experience to them, and we delight them, and we turn them into our fans, so that they go out and talk about us. They go out and bring more customers for us. Because if your customers are not bringing you more customers, there's an opportunity being lost out there. And that is possible only with a great customer experience. And to do that, today in this very short session, I'd like to talk about the Xtra Mile service. Not any service, because we are creating a legendary experience. To create a legendary experience, we have to go the extra mile. And how do we go the extra mile? It's such a simple thing. I know many of you are already doing that. I'm sure, reading all the comments, I'm sure many of you are already doing that. This is just to reinforce the message and also learn from you in this context, that how do we give that extra? And now, sounds very simple, sounds ridiculously silly. Do extra, tell extra. What does that mean? Now, your business has a particular customer journey. Okay, I'll take you through a small, a quick customer journey for your business. Now, you start off first. Your customer gets to know that you're there. That can happen through word of mouth. That can happen through somebody referring you. That can happen by seeing your content on social media. They can read about you, they can know about you, whatever. Your customer becomes aware of you. Then your customer starts comparing you, evaluating you with somebody else, and saying, okay, these are the two options I've shortlisted. From the shortlisted, I am going to go with this particular person. So now then, after becoming aware of you, your customer starts considering you and evaluating you. Yes. Now, after evaluating, the customer then decides that you're the person. I want to work with you. Then the customer starts negotiating with you. Arriving at the final, final relationship, final agreement that they want to sign with you. Then comes the decision phase: awareness, evaluation, decision. Now, after decision, after the negotiation is all over, after the contracts are signed, after the customer is, onboarded with you, then comes the point where, after decision, you are serving the customer. Comes the service stage. After service, now you have made the customer happy or unhappy, for that matter, both the scenario. If you made the customer unhappy, customer will start again looking for options in the market and look out. Or if you made the customer satisfactory service, your customer will not look out, but customer will always keep half eye out for options. They will not look out, they'll keep half eye out for options. On the other hand, you've delighted the customer. Eyes are shut on both sides. They are looking at you and they are enjoying the benefits of a long-term relationship. Then comes the last phase, which is the loyalty phase, where the customer is yours. They've worked with you for 5 years, 10 years. I'm sure all of you have clients who have, who are a 10-year-old client, or a 5-year or 15-year-old client, somebody who's worked years and years with you. And, anytime you launch something new, anytime you introduce something new, you have an event, these are the people that you will invite. These are the people you will include. Their opinions you will take. You might even, call them for events. You will meet up with them, have coffee with them, whatever. The important thing is the loyalty phase is where the relationship is deep. Okay. Now, all through these 5 stages, there are different touch points. We call them touch points where your business interacts with the customer. Awareness stage, your social media post. I'm just giving a couple of examples. Okay. So maybe your social media post. So your social media post is one of the touch points in the awareness stage. Consideration stage, your Google reviews, or if you have ratings that are there in a third party website, or you have people's word of mouth testimonials supporting you, LinkedIn recommendations, you have recommendations on LinkedIn. All these are places all these are touch points which influence a customer, to decide in your favor. That's another touch point. Third decision phase. In decision phase, how easy do you make it for someone to work with you? Does a person has to like, okay, do so much paperwork, travel, or spend way too much time? When you're making it complex and inconvenient for the customer to work with you, that creates pain in the brain, that creates stress. Oh, it's hard to work with. Oh, the guy is good, but it's very hard to work with him. Okay, so these are touch points. If they are not managed well, they create a problem, they create stress for the customer. That's a decision. Now, in the next one, which is service. Now, person has become your customer. How well are you serving that person? How well do you keep the person informed? What are the different services you're offering to the person from time to time? Those are the different touch points. Last, loyalty. Do you have a loyalty benefit that you offer your customer? Is it there? If yes, that's a touch point. What does a person get benefit by working with you for say 10 years, 5 years, long time? Those group of customers, how do you make them feel special? A new product, maybe a beta tested product, especially for them, special access, special rates for new products. There's so many things that we do for exclusively for our loyal customers, not for everyone. Those are your touch points in the loyalty phase. Now, important thing is, what is do extra? I'll tell you a small incident that happened with me. I was doing a training program a couple of months back. Now, this was right after the cyclone in Chennai. I live in Chennai, and we had a bad cyclone, rain so many days. There were floods, and now, after it had gotten over, I had a training program, and I was supposed to, and there was this person out there who uh, told me to reach the place at about 15 minutes before the session, or half an hour before session. I was planned. Now, about 2 hours before the event, I get a call from this person, said, Vinay, when you're coming, you'll be coming from the Katipara flyover side. So when you take that right turn and you come straight to our office, don't park in front of the parking lot. That's, you'll see a lot of cars, but don't park there. The road there is bad. If you can just take one turn from there, and there is a space next to the next office, you can park there. I've already called the watchman and told him that you can park your car there, so you can just walk directly into our office from that side. The road is better, your car will be parked in a much better way. It cost him exactly 20 seconds to tell me this, maybe one phone call to fix it up. But he went the extra mile to do that. Is not needed. It was not needed. I did not even expect, I didn't ask for it. But he knew, he anticipated, he predicted, and he did that extra. There is a there's a fruit brand in fruit shop brand in Hyderabad. And one very unique thing about them that I can remember is that their policy is, how do I give that little extra to all our stakeholders? So now they have a very interesting policy. So they have every time they have a payment term with somebody, like say it's a 7-day payment term or a 10-day payment term, they always transfer the payment 2 days before the deadline. Always 2 days before that. So deadline is 7. They won't wait till the 7th day. It's a policy. It's not a random thing. It's a policy that we will always. Now that's one extra that they do for their vendors, for their customers. When the customer orders 3 juices, what they do sometimes is they just add 1 fruit along with it. Brings a smile on the customer. 1 small little fruit that they will just add along with that. Sometimes they just put a hand, when they know that some of the items they've ordered is for children, they add a small handwritten note for children in that with a couple of smileys. Absolutely. Cultivate the habit of traveling an extra mile to ensure. Absolutely. Extra mile is where, thank you, Mohanji, the extra mile is where the fortune is, because there is no crowd there. Most people don't go the extra mile. There is no crowd there. When we go the extra mile, customers remember that. What can you do extra in your business for your customer? That's the question that we need to constantly ask. What is that one extra thing that we can do? Now, sometimes we may not be able to do. If we cannot do, let's tell extra. Now, say a customer has decided to invest their funds with you, and you're managing that. It's happening very well. Tell extra is that, yes, I may not be able to do anything extra in that regard. I can at least tell. And this is something which has happened with me. The person who's managing from one of my portfolios, every time there is a milestone, I cross a milestone on something, he personally calls me and says that, sir, the portfolio, the percentage that you wanted to do this year, it's just crossed that one yesterday. Just wanted to inform you. One phone call. Second thing, there is what is that information that you can share with the customer that can be useful for that person? Can you share a very nice article that might help him take better decisions, that might help him be more in control? We spoke about the 4 things that customer expects: more in control, more secure, something new that's happened at your end, something new that's happening in the market. Can you share that information? If you can't do extra, tell extra. A little bit which the customer is not asking for, not expecting, not demanding, but you are telling that extra. So why don't you just try this out? Simplest example is that when you go to a cake shop or a bakery that you know of, and you start selecting the cakes that are there, and you like something and you say that I want to have that, and the friendly guy at the counter says, sir, ये वाला जो है ना, ये कल शाम का स्टॉक है, आप ये वाला ट्राई कर लो. Now that is telling extra. What does that make in that one sentence? Builds immense trust. Your brain becomes tuned, your brain becomes influenced to buy more from that shop. You end up buying, maybe you were thinking of buying one, suddenly you might just subconsciously, you might just end up buying one and packing one as well. That's the power of the extra mile. Extra mile service goes beyond products and services. Extra mile experience goes to emotions. We go beyond transactions. Transactions reach the brain. Relationships reach the heart. Reach the customer's heart, because that is where fortune is, that is where business is, and that is where the fun of doing business is. What is the fun? Where is the fun if we are only running behind transactions? Fun is when we build a beautiful community of people that trust us, that like us, that hang out with us, and that want to grow with us. And those beautiful relationships are what make doing business meaningful. Otherwise, हम लोग business करते ही क्यों? Why would we do business if it's not for the pure, which is also not for the pure joy of it? Brings a smile every day in the morning when we get up and start again. That joy that comes that comes from beautiful customer relationships. And to build those beautiful customer relationships, go beyond transactions. Thank you very much. Opening the forum up for questions, and I would really love it if you could, after the questions, if you could just scan the QR code and share you can just scan the QR code, or you can, if the QR code is not happening, if you can go to that link called talk.ac/Vinay and put the code talk and share your thoughts on that. Just thoughts on what, how you found the session. It would really help me a lot to improve, to become better, so that I can make more friends in my next session. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinay. That's wonderful, wonderful insights. However, some of our audience might be knowing, but still you gave a new perspective, and going an extra mile is always appreciated. And the beautiful examples you gave definitely will help us tap more customers, and wishing everyone that you tap more customers. So the floor is open for all of our audience to ask questions. Go ahead.
Please feel free. I'll take as many questions as
Any
I
thought?
can. Would
Any
love
thought,
to
any
answer any
question you can
questions.
share, or you can simply give feedback for towards today's session. You can raise hand, unmute yourself, or write in the chat box, whatever. Yes, Hirami sir.
It was fantastic. The extra mile, even though we all know, we forget that today the way you have presented, I think people present here will never forget. And your link that you have provided, where we have to provide thoughts or your I forget the name. So that link is an extra mile you have gone, because when we provide our thoughts, we will always remember you. Thank you.
Such a pleasure. That's
sorry,
great.
today I was there today.
Sir, excuse me. Sir, can I raise one question?
Yes. I can't. One second.
Yes,
Yes, please.
हेलो.
Yes, please. Yes.
सर, आपने जैसे अभी बोला कि हमें कस्टमर के हार्ट, और जैसे आपने एक वर्ड यूज किया, वी मस्ट रीच द हार्ट एंड माइंड ऑफ द कस्टमर.
राइट.
थियोरेटिकल वेरी इजी टू, बट प्रैक्टिकली कस्टमर को पता नहीं सर. बहुत ही आप जैसा बोल रहे हो कि भाई समथिंग एक्स्ट्रा वी विल पे, देन कस्टमर विल मार्केट अस. तो उस स्थिति में प्रैक्टिकली वैसे कस्टमर होते नहीं आज के दिन में सर.
ओके, ठीक है. मैं आपका क्वेश्चन आंसर, व्हाट इज द बिजनेस दैट यू आर इनटू मैम? आई कांट सी योर नेम. आई कांट, आपका बॉक्स, मेरे चैट बॉक्स, आई कांट सी इट. व्हाट बिजनेस डू यू डू? I'll take an example right away, and I'll explain through what you do in your business. आप जरा what is the business?
Sir, I am speaking. Sir, I am speaking training and all as a coach.
Wonderful. What do you train on? What is the topic that you train on?
As per the need of the client, sometimes for the ICI, as a career counseling in my social work, Gita classes and all.
Beautiful. Now, say आप career counseling करते हैं, right? Okay, let me take the career counseling example itself. तो आप career counseling करते हैं, आपने एक session लिया जहाँ पे you met about 25 students, and आपने उनको different career options बताए, आपने उनको guide किया, आपने उनके questions answer किए. Now, this is मीटिंग द एक्सपेक्टेशन. करियर काउंसलिंग ट्रेनिंग में ये एक्सपेक्टेड है, ये आपने बता. लेकिन नाउ वेयर इज द एक्स्ट्रा माइल? जो हम बोलते हैं, जो हम एक्स्ट्रा माइल बोलते हैं, वी हैव टू थिंक अबाउट दैट. ओके, नाउ now after the session happens, say for example, you create a small little like a one-page document for the children which has the. तो now when you are doing the session, आपको पता लग जाएगा कि ये जो बच्चे हैं यहाँ पे, जो जो सुन रहे हैं आपको, इनमें से सबसे ज्यादा which is the kind of career they are looking for. उस करियर को लेकर अगर आप एक सिंगल वन पेजर बनाते हैं, वन पेजर से ऑन द टॉप 10 इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस एंड देयर admission formalities, just a simple one, admission formalities of the top 10 engineering colleges that they are looking at in their city, और वो एक्स्ट्रा माइल एफर्ट है आपके साइड पे, लेकिन जब वो आप डॉक्यूमेंट रेडी करके प्रिंट करके रखते हैं, और आप नाउ स्टूडेंट्स आर नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग इट, they have not asked for it, but you are giving it to them at the end of the session. They will and नीचे आपके details भी हैं, आपका नाम भी है, they will then go out and talk about you. That is the extra mile that I'm talking, that we are discussing in this session, ki wo jo extra mile effort hai, and it doesn't, in 90% cases it doesn't even require investment of money, it requires investment of thought. When you do that extra mile, then your customer remembers you, because otherwise, हाँ किसी ने आप एक सिंपल सा एग्जांपल देखिए, जब हम कोई सेशन अटेंड करके आते हैं या इवेंट में बहुत सारे लोगों से मिलके आते हैं, एंड देन somebody asks us कि भाई वो टॉक कैसा था, हाँ अच्छा था, मैंने कोई तो आया था, कोई बंदा था, वो मतलब कॉलेज से आया था, वो बात करके गया. That is how we talk about somebody who just came and talked. But somebody who left a mark on your mind, आप उसका नाम भी याद रखते हैं, and then you tell, यार I went and Prakash Iyer's talk blew my mind away. I mean, this is how I spoke about when I heard Prakash Iyer speak, is one of speakers from the speaking community. So I was mind blown, क्या stories share किए, and मैंने तो उनका book भी ले लिया, and he gave me and he asked me what I do, and he gave me such a personalized message on the book, sign करके दिया. Extra mile, that's the extra mile that we are talking about. Everybody, all of us, whatever business we are, we can always use the extra mile to create that moment, create that memory in the customer's minds. Yes, I think we have somebody. I hope I have answered the question. Yes, I see two more people who have raised their hands. We can take the question.
Anita ji, you can go ahead. Abhijit sir, you want to speak something?
No, I'm first time I'm hearing Vinay speak for 45 minutes. I interact with him almost daily. This is the first time I've heard him speak on a lecture. It's good. He's always as great as he always speaks. Yeah. So fine.
Yeah, Anita. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so while you are talking about going that extra mile, so I am a life coach, and I wanted to know how and all I can go that extra mile in my business.
As a life coach, what do you help your customer with, your clients with?
Yeah, so it's on different topics that I help. Sometimes it's related to mindset, sometimes it's related to productivity. So all these topics that help for self-development, personal development.
Okay.
So those topics I cover.
Okay, let's take one from that. Let's say productivity. So,
okay.
After working with you on productivity, what is it that your client is able to do better?
Like if my client has followed the exact schedule that I have given them,
right?
That how to track your day, how to keep, how to schedule your day, how to time block your activities,
right?
How to prioritize your priorities,
right?
Then they will be able to be more productive and save their time and do the things that they actually love doing.
Fantastic. Now, just imagine that. Now, one of the biggest roadblocks for people to become productive is that they get distracted very soon, right? They get distracted by a lot of things. I mean, I have some of my friends who are productivity experts, and this is the information that I got from them. So I'm taking an example from there. Okay, so now just imagine now after the coaching is over, imagine that post the session or post your engagement, you're dropping a simple message that, are you still wasting your time on those 3 apps that consume most of your time. Have you uninstalled Facebook yet? Just a simple message. Have you uninstalled Facebook yet? Now, is your customer expecting that? No. He's not expecting that. But your customer knows by just that simple message that, oh, this person cares for me. This person cares for me. Small example, and I'm connecting this here because now I take my health insurance from a person who's been managing it for the last 16 years, my health insurance and everything related to that. I met with an accident a few years back. I was in the hospital, and my family had not reached the hospital at first. And I wanted to know. I didn't know how to use because I didn't have my card with me, and I didn't know what to do about it. So I dropped a WhatsApp message to him and said, "Sir, met with an accident. How do I claim insurance?" A reply came, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm at the Fortis hospital." And he said, "Okay." Just a reply came, "Okay." Before my family reached, he had reached there. He reached there to check on me. He asked me, he spent close to 1.5 hours there. He took care of everything, literally everything when it came. I only had to sign on those small boxes that he put that yahan pe sign kar do, 20-22 signature lagenge aapke, and that's all I know. I didn't even know what he did. He made the claim zero stress for me, and he went back. Was this expected? No. His job is that every year he'll remind me, he'll send me the premium and make sure that my address and everything is updated. That's all he did. That is what is expected from him. That is what most people do. But this guy went up there, and then until I was discharged, he will message me every single day to ask how I'm doing. After I was discharged, even after that, every month he'll say, "I hope you're recovering. I hope your physiotherapy is doing well." And it didn't stop there. 6 months after that, he said, "Sir, next year your premium will be slightly higher, or they say you can't, it will be slightly higher because you've taken a claim, and this is what you can do to manage that." And he gave me a suggestion which I was not expecting. I didn't even know. I would never have asked extra. So being a life coach, you might be working on relationships, you might be working on communication, you might be working on productivity. Your extra mile is not on these things. Your extra mile is on the customer. What can I do to help this person achieve better relationship? What can I do to help this person? How can I make it easier to work with me? Maybe the customer is finding it difficult to log in at the time on 6 o'clock in the morning. Can I work a comfortable time for this person? Can I, simple things, small things, very, very small things. These small things matter to customers. So find those small little things in your business that will mean a lot to the customer, and they will mean a lot to the customer.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we have to actually brainstorm कि ऐसा क्या हम दे सकते हैं.
Exactly.
What we can.
Ekdam sahi. It starts with brainstorming. It starts with sitting and thinking, and that is why मैंने वो customer journey share की थी. सारे stage पे देखो, मैं पहले stage पे कुछ नहीं कर सकता हूँ शायद, लेकिन मैं evaluation stage पे कर सकता हूँ, मैं service stage पे कर सकता हूँ. Maybe I can do something special for my loyal customers. किसी भी stage पे करिए, but करिए.
Right.
It doesn't matter which stage. What matters is that you do that extra mile.
Yeah, thank you so much for this awesome session and the amazing answer. I'll follow it.
Such a pleasure, Anita ji. There's a question in the chat box. I was just looking at that. Lots of apps are available on improving relationships. What is the impact of such apps on human relationships? That's a googly of a question. I like that. Yes, there are lots of apps. Yes. And one thing I believe about, and that's the simplest way I can answer this, that apps are tools. Technology, AI, ChatGPT, all these are tools. The impact is decided by the person who uses these tools. These tools will not change your life. You can change your life by using these tools or any other tools. The remote control is always in your hands, in nobody else's hands. That's what I want to answer. I really loved that question. So that's why I wanted to specifically take that here, because yes, today our life revolves around apps. Our apps are tools that make our life easy. It's like having a spanner or a screwdriver to do it, but it's the hand that turns it that actually gets the work done. So thank you for that question, Mohanji. Can we have the contact details of this agent? I actually put up a LinkedIn post about him some time back as well. So he's, and I have referred him to at least 6 to 7 clients, by the way. I've referred, and all of them have been with him now over the last 5 to 6 years minimum, maybe more than that only. Organic business that I was talking about. Zero cost for the business, organic business. And yes, it is also, somebody said very nicely that it's also is true for relationships also. Yes, you put in that extra, there is no crowd there. You put in that extra, it'll always work out amazing. Somebody has raised the hand. Manjeet.
Yes, sir. Good morning,
Please.
sir.
Good morning, Manjeet.
I wanted to share a similar, experience. Actually, I am into IT, but due to my, curiosity, I got this health insurance code. Okay, and only policy which I share sold, or you can say was I shared it to my friend. Okay, and during COVID he got COVID basically. And I told him that means that time he don't have anything, he don't have choice, right? So he from the Delhi he went to some Patna because his brother was there. And he got treatment and all that. And in the end what happened is, when he was out from there, he asked me, Manjeet, like, I want to claim it. How should I do it? He I explained him that you go to that site and submit those papers and all that. But like he had very, at that time life was more precious than collecting those bills and everything, right? Then what he did is, he did whatever I told, whatever bills he was. I just told him that please keep them, and you can get that reimbursement. And he applied for that, but they rejected it 2 times.
Okay.
Then I told him that there is a ombudsman which helps them to, clear that. He called we raised a, query from there. And at the end he got that claim.
Wow.
So he means at that the time of COVID, though that claim was not important, but that, that help which, that he has done, means I don't run behind people that take this insurance, I took that code just, because I know about those things. And this out of my knowledge, and it's because I like that knowledge, how, those insurance things are there. So I did that. Just wanted to share my experience.
No, this is ऐसा सर्विस आप देंगे मंजीत जी, तो then you don't have to run after customers at all, because they will bring you, they will talk about you. And this is the essence of this today's session you've captured in this experience of yours, because this is what matters to people. This reaches the heart here. So fantastic. That's amazing work you're doing.
And sir, one more thing I wanted to share. Actually, in 2005, I was in Wipro, and I attended this kind of a session. And there actually one trainer, she gave us training, and regarding that Ron Kaufman. There is one person, Ron Kaufman. And while you were giving this session, I reminded him and it was very, wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Ron is the global guru of customer service and customer experience for all of us. We all look up to
Exactly.
him. We all, his research, his insights, his wisdom is something that that we all get inspired by. He's like up there among the top. If I have to name the top 5, customer service, customer delight people in the
Yes,
world, Ron would be right up there. So
yes.
yes.
Yeah, so that training was up your service. I attended it in Wipro. I was in Wipro in 2006.
Wonderful.
So that was very fantastic, and it reminded me of that training. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. That's all. Thank
That's
you.
where an extra mile. With this extra mile, we build a brand in our customers' mind.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
Shivani. In fact, just want to add to this that when we were talking about this session, you went the extra mile to make sure that every element of the session that was needed from me, it was done, it was sent, the topics, the way you coordinated to make this session happen. That's the extra mile you went. Hats off to you for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vinayji, for wonderful deliberation and the brainstorming, the way you carried the session. So everything was specifically the extra mile that you delivered. And it was wonderful to have your experience, learn insights from your experience. And thank you for our wonderful audience to keep these sessions going on, and do share your feedback, what kind of sessions you want, or how can we make these SOS sessions more better. So your inputs will definitely help us make serve you better. Thank you everyone for joining in today. See you next week.
Thank you,
Have a
Vinayji. It
blessed
was a
weekend.
wonderful session, and thank you, Swani Madam, for arranging this meet. Extraordinary, very good meeting. Got
Thank
a lot
you,
of input.
Mohanji.
Yeah.
Not extra mile.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you,
extra
thank you.
mile. We need, to that extra mile traveling is the need of the hour now for all of us. We have to be different. We have to project ourselves in a different way altogether. If we have to retain the customers, and the retaining the customer is the really hell of a job nowadays. And is as good as adding new customers. So you have to spend invest a lot of your time in getting a new customer.
Yes.
If you can spend that quality time in retaining the customer, it will make world of difference to us.
Very nicely said. Very nicely said. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Quickly said. And Vasuji is reminding us one more tip to remind the person's name at end of the sentence. Definitely, everybody likes to hear his or her name. That's wonderful, Vasu.
100%, completely agree with that. That the one thing that humans are wired to love listening to time and again, the one thing is always their name.
Yes. True. Yes.
So thank you, Vasuji, for this reminder, and thank you, Vinayji.
It is said that name. It is said that name is the best. This music in anybody's ear. In any
100%, sir.
Yeah. True. That name in a individual name sounds like beautiful music. Very tilting music. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, and have a best weekend. See you next week.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you once
Thank you,
again.
everyone.
Thank you. God bless all. Thank you.